back to my channel. So, as you saw by the thumbnail, I have an impossible amount of books that I hauled last month, but it was because of two things. So I have a bookstore, and this bookstore I usually stock up throughout the year, and anything that doesn't sell, I take that to half-price books, and I get my money back and buy things that I personally want or things that would go in the store. But it seems like this last time, I bought more things that I wanted, and I also bought Christmas presents with all of that money as well. And I ended up with more books than I can possibly fathom to have. A lot of the books that I bought in November were also from Pango Books. You can see all of the books that I bought in my last video, which is the books that I want to read in December. Most of those books are books that I've had in my cart since like the summertime for Christmas time. So I bought a lot of books last month, and I'm gonna be honest, I think a book buying ban is on the horizon because I have way too many books. So the second reason is I got upgraded in my book of the month like amount that I can buy each month, and so every book is like an additional like $11 instead of like full price of like $18 to $20. So I ended up getting 3 books last month, and I also got 3 books this month, which those books will also show up in my next vlog and my haul for December. So let's go ahead and get started with the haul for this month. So top of the stack is the Bridge Kingdom. Everybody has said that this is one of the best romanticises aside from ACOTAR. I didn't really enjoy ACOTAR as a series at all, and there's a reason. Like, I haven't tried Throne of Glass or anything. I don't think I like Sarah J. Maas's writing style. I don't like her characters. Like, there's nothing about these stories except for the settings that they're in that I particularly like about them. So I want to try the Bridge Kingdom and see if I like this style of romantasy compared to Sarah J. Maas. And if I do like this, it's not romantasy as a genre because I actually really like romantasy. I have a lot of romantasy books actually, so yeah, I'm really excited to give this a try. I really hope that I like it. I love the cover. The cover is just absolutely gorgeous. I know that this was an independent publishing not company, but I knew that this was independently published, and then she got it published again traditionally, and then they changed the cover, which I really, really like as, you know, preferred to the original cover. So really excited to get into this sometime next year. Next up, this was more of a weird whim buy because there's a YouTuber that I watch. I will try and find her and I will stick her name like in the video and also down below, but she read through the entire Cruel Prince series. I feel like this series is kind of overhyped like ACOTAR, so I'm going into this kind of not expecting much. This book was like $6 and I had some money left over in my Pango book account, so if I don't like it, it's just going right back on my Pango books. So I picked up the Cruel Prince. Hopefully I'll get to it sometime this year. This book is a sequel to a book called Angelology, and I like it because it's like the show Evil, and Evil is like about this group in the Catholic Church that investigate really weird happenings as if they're miracles. So they have like an atheist, they have somebody who's agnostic, and then they have someone who is training to be a Catholic priest. So you get like all these points of views towards these miracles. So these books are very similar to that. I've read a little bit of Angelology. This is the sequel, Angelopolis. And this one's a lot shorter than the first one. The first one, I believe, is like close to 500 pages. I heard that this one's just as good as the first one, so I'm really excited that I was able to pick this up. The next book that I have is also a recommendation from pretty much every booktuber on the internet. Once Upon a Broken Heart is a romantasy, and that is all that I know about, other than I believe there's something to do with magic and a spell. It has something to do with a broken heart if she does fall in love. I'm not sure. I just know that everybody loves this series, and it was also at Half Price Books for like $7, so why not? Next book is one that I've actually had a very hard time finding. This is Fahrenheit 451. This is the same type of genre of book as 1984. I love 1984, and I probably want to read it again. And somebody, I believe on the internet, said that like you should not be reading Fahrenheit 451 and 1984, which automatically sends red flags. So I went ahead and picked up physical copies of Fahrenheit 451, and I've had a copy of 1984 in my library personally for years at this point, so I'm just glad that I was able to pick this up in relatively good condition. This one was $12, even though there were like 4 copies of this book at Half Price Books. I was just like, you know what, this one has the potential to be banned just because of the contents within, so I just went ahead and bit the bullet and bought it. I bought a pretty good condition, but like there is like a scuff on the spine, but I'm just happy to have this in my collection regardless. The next one has been recommended by several different YouTubers as well. This is Gilded. This is part of I believe this is part of like a 6-7 book series. It's based off of the myth of Rumpelstiltskin and Midas, and apparently it gets kind of spicy, but I'm not really there for the spice. I just love fairy tale retellings, and if there's romance in it, I will most likely pick it up. So I'm really excited to get into this. So the next book I bought at the beginning of November, which is Malice. This chunker right here, this is part of the Badlands series, and I really want to get into it, but it's so intimidating. I even started reading it. I believe I'm on like page 20 or 30 at this point. Like that's how thick this book is that like I'm still at the beginning and it's still like page 20 or 30. I really want to get into this series. I'm just so intimidated by the 620 page chunk that this is, and hopefully I'll finish this, but I'm really not confident in myself that I will stick to it, because I DNF Kings of the Wild, which I love Kings of the Wild and I want to finish it. It's just a like 600 page book, and I got tired of reading it because I'm a mood reader, so if I'm not in the mood to read the thing, I'm going to skip that book and read something that I want to read, which leaves a bunch of unfinished books that are fantastic on my shelf. Like The Spell Shop is one that I did not finish, but I was really enjoying it, and I didn't get to finish it because I just wasn't in the mood to read it. We're getting to my book of the month reads, or my book of the month hauls that I've gotten this last month. If you saw my vlog, you saw like what was in it, but I got The Road of Bones. This is supposed to be, or it was pitched to me that this is like The Witcher, and The Witcher is one of my all-time favorite fantasy series. So anything that's like The Witcher, I'm going to pick up and give it a try. This is the first, I believe, in a trilogy, and it's about a girl running for her life, and she's going through a place called the Road of Bones, which is through a forest, and that's all I know about this book. So I'm really excited to get into this. I'm very intrigued. I know that there's a lot of book clubs on Fable that are starting to read this as well. So maybe next year I will give this one a read as well, or see if there's a club that I can join where I can discuss this and everything. Again, this is the same issue that I have with Malice and Kings of the Wild. This is almost a 600 page book, and I am a newbie to chunky fantasies, so I really want to give this one a try. This is also supposed to be a romantasy. I just really hope I can get through this. I hope that the plot is so addicting that I just move through it. The next one is also from Book of the Month. It is The Teller of Small Fortunes. This is supposed to be a cozy fantasy, which I'm always in need of cozy fantasies, and I heard that it was a lot like Chronicles of Narnia, and I actually need to get Chronicles of Narnia. I grew up with my mom reading them to me, and I still don't have my own copy. I have a lot of C.S. Lewis and a lot of like books that he wrote about the Bible and being a Christian and theology, and I've read most of those, but I haven't read Chronicles of Narnia. So I need to pick that up soon, but this is supposed to be very much like it. It's supposed to be just like a very cozy fantasy world. I'm really excited to read this one because it's very short. I believe it's about like 200 pages. Sorry, it's 309. The font's really big, and I'm sure I'll get through that really easily. The last one is my most anticipated release of this year, which is Where the Library Hides, and this is the sequel to What the River Knows. I had such a great time with the first book. I can't wait to get into this, but I'm also like super nervous. Like, what if it's not good? But the reviews have come in for it, and they say it's just as good, if not better, than the first one in the series. So maybe I'll read this for Valentine's Day again, because I read What the River Knows during Valentine's Day and I fell in love with it. So maybe I'll save this one for Valentine's Day as well. It's so weird to start thinking about Valentine's Day when it's like not even Christmas yet. That was my haul for November. I think I'm about to go on a book buying ban. You know, if I get books for Christmas, that's a whole other thing, but I think I'm just going to like make myself not buy any books for the next 6 months. I'm thinking about doing a no-buy year and just reading my physical TBR and whatever is on my Kindle. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching my video. Let me know what your picks of the month were. What did you get this month? And I will see you guys next video. Bye!